Now we are going to discuss functions. I'm going to give an example for functions. The task is something like this. Does a string represent an integer? Okay. You are going to enter some strings and we need to check whether the string contains integers. Okay, this is the task. So for this I'm going to create a function isInteger. This is the user defined function I'm going to create. This is the function name. Okay, so what this function does, I will again write elaborately. This function determines whether or not the characters in a string represent a valid integer. Okay, so I'll just define what are the elements this function should have. First one, whatever the string you are entering, okay, first you have to ignore any leading and trailing white spaces. First step, ignore any leading or trailing white spaces. First step. Second one, after doing this, after removing this white spaces, a string represents an integer. Okay, a string represents an integer. Okay, here I'm just mentioning the condition. So its length, okay, its length should be at least 1, and okay, it should only contain digits. Okay, the length should be at least 1 and it should contain digits. Alternatively, the first character can be either plus or minus. Okay, after this first character, whatever you have, okay, the remaining characters that should be digits. Okay, so you are going to create a function isInteger. Okay, the input for this isInteger is some string. Okay, first within the function you have to ignore any leading or trailing white spaces from the string. Then they have given two conditions. Okay, so without this plus or minus, it can be it should be an integer, something like it should have at least length 1, and that all the characters that should be digits. Then otherwise first character, okay, it can be plus or minus, but the remaining characters that should be digits. Okay, that should be digits. So this is something like a boolean. Okay, if you naturally see the Python functions, built-in functions, they use this alpha is digit, something like that. This actually this is expected to return boolean, so true or false. It will return true or false. So they are asking us to create another function. That function is main function. So in the main function, you need to read the string. Okay, let me call the string as yes. Okay, read the string from the user. Okay, then you have to pass this s to isInteger. Then based on the result, you need to print. Okay, you need to print integer or not. Okay, print integer or not. So let us go for the programming. Before that, I just want to introduce some of the string methods what we have discussed earlier. Okay, so let me take a string. Whether my spider window is visible?
No, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. See, now you just see s is equal to some space then Python. If I want to remove the unwanted white space at the beginning, I can do like this. So s dot stripe. You can notice the unwanted space at the unwanted white space at the beginning is removed. Similarly, let me introduce unwanted space at the end also. Let me use the same command. You just see from the beginning and the end, the unwanted space is removed. So I am going to use stripe method within the function. Okay, I am going to use stripe method within the function. Similarly, say I have some string 1, 2, 3, 4, something like this. Suppose I want to access from second character 2, 3, 4. So it will be something like this. Okay, 1 colon. If I don't mention the stop index, it will go up to the end of the string. Okay, it starts from the first character, it goes up to the end of the string. And another thing, we have discussed isDigit. Okay, isDigit boolean function. So if everything is digits, that 1, 2, 3, 4, if everything is digit, it will return true. Okay, otherwise it will return false. So you can ask me a question already. There is isDigit function. Why we need to go for this isInteger some function? We can use this isDigit. Suppose I have a number minus 1, 2, 3. Okay, let me check. See, this is a number, but the function isDigit tells that it's not a number. It's not this string does not it's not containing only digits. Okay, so what I'm going to do, that is the reason I'm going to create my own function. Okay, isInteger. Then another thing, suppose s is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. S square bracket 1 colon means it is taking 2, 3, 4. Suppose I want to check whether the remaining, okay, first character, second character, third character, whether they are digits. Okay, then I have to use something like this. Okay, with these fundamentals, let us start the program. So define is the keyword. The function name is isInteger. Okay, and one input argument, that is string. Let me call that input argument as s. Okay, so first we have to remove white spaces. Remove white spaces. Okay, so what I'm doing, s is equal to s dot stripe. See why I am doing this. Okay, let me see. Okay, s is equal to Python, some white space maybe at the end, s dot stripe. If I do, I will get that white space is removed. But again, if you see the s, it is not the white space removed s, it is the original s. So what I am doing, I am just going for this assignment. After removing the white space at the beginning at the end, again, okay, that yes, I am just assigning to s dot stripe, I am assigning to yes. Okay, so first step. Next step, I have to check whether the first character, whether that yes, after removing white space, whether that yes, that contains only digits. So very simple, what I can do s dot is digit. I can use the built-in function. Okay, I can use the built-in function. But if you see, there is another condition, the string can contain plus or minus also as the first character. So that also we have to verify. So what I'm doing, I'm just going for R. Okay, I'm just checking whether s of 0 double equal to plus or s of 0 double equal to minus. Okay, let me add a bracket here. This is entirely the second condition. Okay, so first character either plus or minus, but rest of the character, that should be an integer. So what I'm doing, I'm just adding proper brackets so that I can avoid confusion. So first character should be plus or minus, then I'm just using AND because both the conditions should be satisfied. First character can be plus or minus, but the rest of the characters, that should be integers. Okay, so how do you access the rest of the characters? I don't know the length of the string. Okay, I'm just starting from 1 because 0th character I have already accessed. So I'm just starting from 1 and it has to go up to the end of the string. So I'm just checking is digit. Okay, is digit. Let me check whether I have added proper brackets. First bracket here, I need to add one more bracket. So if you notice, I have accommodated two conditions. First one, directly I'm just checking whether all the characters are digits. Okay, sometimes you can represent numbers with plus or minus, so that is the reason I have not included or. I have used I have not used and, I am using or. Even this fails, I will look for the other condition, but within that I'm just checking two things, whether the first character is plus or minus, and rest of the characters should be integer. Okay, so if this is satisfied, I have to return true, else the function has to return false. Okay, so the function is ready. I have to create another function, main function. So define main. So no input argument for this main function. Okay, in the main function I am going to get the input from the user. So I'm just using input method, input, enter a string. Okay, so we know that that isInteger function, that is going to return either true or false. So very neatly I can use that if else statements. If isInteger, that means if that isInteger function returns true, then I am going to print that string represents an integer. Okay, otherwise I am going to print that string, okay, does not represent an integer. I hope everything is correct. Let me test this. Let me execute the code and check. Okay, run the code. See, directly I cannot use this. Yeah, I can use isInteger, that's not a problem, but I want to access through main function. So first I am calling the main function. Okay, once I call the main function, within the main function we have used input, so it is asking for the string. So first I am entering 1. Okay, isInteger missing 1. Okay, here there is a mistake. If you notice, I received the input, yes, but I am not passing the input. Yeah, thank you. I just getting the input. I'm just getting the input from the user, but I never passed. So that is the reason it is showing the error. Now I corrected it. So let me call main function again. Let me give 1. Okay, that string represents an integer. Okay, it is an integer. Let me go for different inputs. Okay, let me give my name. That's not an integer. Again, let me test with another one. Let me go for a mix of alphabets and numbers. Again, that is not an integer. Let me try 1 2 3 4. That's an integer. Let me try plus 1 2 3 4. Okay, this is the correct one. Minus 1000. That string represents an integer. So we created a user defined function. The built-in function isDigit may not work if you represent an integer with plus or minus. Okay, that is the reason I have created a function isInteger. Through this isInteger, okay, you are just considering that case plus or minus followed by numbers. Okay.